my channel. This is Nurse Rajani. So today I'm just going to tell you some basic things about clinical. So these are some tips that will help you with your clinical. So my first and foremost tip is to be punctual, be on time. So wherever you go, doesn't matter it's on placement or on your interview or any place, you need to be on time. That is most important. Do not be late. Okay, do not be late. So just make sure you reach early rather than reaching late. Second tip is be prepared. So whenever you go on placement, there are always a different clinical settings where you will be placed. So it might be geriatric, or it might be mental health. It might be anything, and you need to do your clinical required education. Make sure that you are prepared before you go. So it is good for yourself and good for your patient that you are prepared. You know who is going to come to your ward, you know why they are there for, and everything. Like you go to the surgical and you haven't done anything, you don't know what kind of surgery they are coming from. Either they are from orthopedic or gastro or whatever, you don't know anything about that. That's not good. So make sure that you just do your just get prepared for everything before you go to the placement. So the third thing is bring all your equipment, nursing equipment. So yeah, nursing equipment is very important. The things that I took on my clinical placement were like stethoscope. Bring your stethoscope with you, bring the watch with you, and make sure you've got pens. Do not ask for pens on your clinical placement with others. Let other ask pens with you, but do not ask pen with others. Okay, and it's better if you've got like one of these. And if somebody will ask you for a pen and if you got one of these kind of pen, so make sure you give them without the cover, because this is what my tutor told me. If you give with the cover, then it might never come back, but if you give it without the cover, it will definitely come back to you, so you will not be losing your pens as well. So make sure you've got both of these kind of pen, and make sure you've got a small notebook that you can write the stuff on and everything. Bring all your equipment. Yeah. So the fourth one is ask. Do not hesitate to ask. You are paying for your placement, you're paying to go to the clinical, so you have to ask questions. There is no but, however, moreover, or whatever. You have to ask questions. So do not pretend to know everything. You wouldn't know everything because you're a student. There will be certain things, even though you are not a student, you would not be knowing everything about the clinical field. So always ask yourself, like, do I know why that person is here for? Do I know why is he having those medications for, or anything like that? And if you're asking yourself those questions and you cannot answer yours, like, ask to someone else. Ask to the nurse in charge, ask to the nurse you're going to be placed with, ask to your supervisor, ask to the nurse educator, ask to any other nurses, anyone. Even you can even ask to the doctors if you see they are free. So ask. That's my fourth tip for you. The fifth one is stay engaged. It is very difficult to stay engaged when it's quiet. You might be not have anything to do, or you might not have anything else, anyone to talk to. Make sure you just go and flip onto the pages of their documentation, or make sure you go to the computer and try to find out their pre-documentations, read their documentation from the beginning, check their laboratory investigation reports and everything. And you're paying for that 8 hours, you're paying for your placement, so you need to get most out of it. So that's the main thing. The other one I would be talking about is clinical placement. As I've already mentioned, that there are so many different clinical placements that you will be placed into. It might be OPD, it might be OT, it might be ICU, it might be emergency, it might be surgical ward, post-operative ward, gynae ward, mental health unit, anything, like anything. But it doesn't mean like you want to be a pediatric nurse and you're not giving a shit about the gynae nurse, or you want to be a gynecology nurse, you're not giving a shit about pediatric nursing placement. You have to get your focus towards whatever you are doing at the moment, because nurse is about caring for patient, and doesn't matter whatever clinical placement you have been in, you have to make sure that you take most out of it, and you're learning, you're gaining education. All these things that I have told you on be on time, be prepared, bring your equipment, and ask questions, stay engaged. And it doesn't matter any clinical placement you have put on, do not take anything easy. Okay, so these are the things, tips help you to go to your clinical placement. Always keep those things in your mind. Make sure before you go to your clinical placement you have done all your pre-clinical works. Like sometimes they will give you like tons of paper that you need to read, and some of the things that you need to complete, like hand hygiene and stuff like that. Make sure you have done everything and get all your documents. Make sure you prepare everything like watch, scissors, pens, stethoscope, watch, and every single thing. You put it in your bag one day earlier. Make sure you're on time. Make sure to check things. If you want to grab a coffee from the shop, make sure you give yourself that extra time. These are the things that you need to put on your mind before going to clinical placement or throughout your clinical placement, and I have hope that it makes you feel easy. And best of luck for your clinical placement. I'm signing out.